Welcome back, and today what we're going to be talking about is whether you should summon or not for Beelzebub. Now, Zillatu is on the banner with him, which is kind of ironic because Zillatu is a part of the Infernal faction, and so is Dolores. And Dolores is pretty much Beelzebub's competition. Yeah, and I say that very, very lightly because Beelzebub is an inspiration unit. He is an ally buff unit, and he does provide inspiration during his ultimate. Yeah, there we go. And it does go up to a 50% inspiration, which is very good. Now, I haven't done the testing. I haven't been able to do any testing with him because he is on the Forerunner server. However, I didn't pull him, and my Forerunner server is by no means a place that could test anything. It is very underdeveloped at the moment, so there's that. But I have watched a good bit of other testing, and most of the other testing mostly focuses on his inspiration based on versus Dolores. And I believe it was A3, Fastidious said that he does approximately 98% inspiration compared to Dolores. Now, you'll have to take that at a grain of salt. I did not do the testing, he did. And honestly, I do trust his testing there, but I always take things at a grain of salt till I can try them out myself. He does have a very unique range. He has 4 tiles in front of him and 1 off to each side. So he's got kind of that piercer range. So you can fit a lot of units within that inspiration field. So his ultimate is his normal range, and it is a manual ultimate, which is handy. And the other thing that he is he is a summoner. He summons these putrid flies, and the putrid flies deal slow. It's a 2-second slow, 50%. Solid, nothing great, nothing bad. And during the ultimate, the putrid flies release release Plague of Ruin 1 time every 5 seconds, dealing 150% magic AoE damage to up to 8 enemies and inflicting magic vulnerability on them. This is a 10% magic vulnerability. It's not great, but it's also not bad. So that's kind of the name of his game. He's good, but not great. I don't think an early game player will be able to take a lot of usefulness from him. He is good, but I think early game you're not really looking for inspiration. You're more or less looking for just raw power. He does not provide a ton of damage. That is first and foremost. He does provide a good bit of support, but not a ton of damage. So his basic attack is an AoE basic attack, 100% damage to 5 enemies in range, and it is his skill ups give him rage regen, so he can get his rage regen, his ultimate up a lot faster. His ultimate does cost 1,000 when skilled up. It is down to 900. He does start with 700, and he can skill this up to 24 seconds of it being active. Now, during his ultimate, he summons putrid flies. They inherit 100% of the hero's attributes, roam within the hero's basic range, and deal 100% damage to 5 enemies in range, or 5 enemies with basic attack. So, solid. They also generate a powerful vortex that pulls up to 10 enemies nearby towards the center. So pretty much they'll hard control them and pull them towards that little area there. And it inflicts slow. The vortex lasts for 5 seconds. From what I'm seeing, it does it only once. I don't know. It could do it again. I'm not sure. Generate. Yeah, it looks like it just does that once. But still, it's solid. That inflicts a slow on him. It does 10 enemies, and it's good control. Passive 1 is during the ultimate. The hero and the putrid flies release Plague of Root 1 time every 5 seconds, dealing 150% magic AoE damage and up to 8 enemies in range, and inflicts them with magic vulnerability. So this is that 10% magic vulnerability. Solid. This goes up to 10 targets and goes down to every 3 seconds. He is going to be a unit that you want to skill up. That is one big thing. He gets a lot from almost all of his skill ups. I think all of his skill ups are useful to him. Yeah, all of them are useful to him. So during the ultimate, this is his last passive. During the ultimate, he applies a 35 skilling up to 55 or 50%, sorry, 50% inspiration to all allies within his range, his unique range, and reduces the attack interval of allied summons adjacent to the putrid flies by 25%. Now, this here is an interesting thing because this scales up to 50% and scales up to 30% interval reduction for summons. So anybody who you have that does a lot of summons, he's going to buff even farther. He is probably going to do more for summons than Dolores does. Now, people like Xeris, people like Beatrix even, this could be very useful for. I don't know if this will be really useful for Honora, but Honora can't receive buffs. I don't know if her summon can. But either way, she'd still be a good teammate for Honora because Honora also buffs allied summons. So, let's talk about his attack. And at max level, he's got 2300 attack. This is where he falls short. You're going to want to build him as much attack as possible. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get this very high. He's got 2300 base attack, and we're talking Dolores has 2500. He is just barely higher than her on attack. That is very underwhelming, which is unfortunate. That's why his inspiration doesn't go up as well as hers does. His attack interval is 2 seconds, making it so that he does take a while between attacks. The plus side with this is you can build him to attack faster, so that is good. He's got solid rage regen, so that will help. But what's really going to help him is his awakenings. So the Awaken 1, it's going to make him hit the magic units in his party do a bit more damage during his ultimate. This increases to the magic vulnerability increases to 20% instead of 10%. Solid, it doubles, but that's honestly not a huge thing. Awaken 2, he gets 300 more attack. This is pretty big for him. This puts him up to a 3 grand attack, and that does help a ton. I mean, when you're looking at, or no, it puts him up to 2600, sorry. So, 2657 at that point, and that does help. That is a big boost for him. But Awaken 3, when the basic attack deals damage to a target, restores 2% rage. So this does not appear to have a cooldown. So if there's 5 enemies in range, and he attacks all 5 enemies, This should get him 10% rage every time he attacks. So Gear Raid 1, he should be able to keep Inspiration up a ton of the time. So this is going to help him a ton. Awaken 4, cost -2. This brings his cost that we did not talk about down to 8. He is a cost of 10, which is very cheap, but still a little bit more expensive than Dolores. He does do more than just Inspiration, and that's what he has on Dolores. And Awaken 5, if the target receives 2 instances of Plague of Ruin within 3 seconds, they will take one additional instance of true damage equal to 100% of the hero's attack. This is not impressive, I'll be honest. I'm sure it does some okay damage, but yeah. So we'll move on past that. So he is a very good unit. Should you summon for him? That's a hard question to answer. He is a very good unit, like I said. His exclusive artifact. Let's see if we can have a look at this. What this does is it increases his attack by 20%. Solid. This probably goes up to like 30%. And guarantees a critical hit on enemies damaged by putrid flies for 5 seconds. And deals 30% increased damage. This probably does increase his damage quite a bit. However, I still think Tear of Twilight will probably be best until you get that maxed out. For reference, Tear of Twilight gives 30% extra attack when deployed. So once you get that other one maxed out, it'll likely go up to 30%, and it will likely be on par with Tear of Twilight, and just no downside of using it. For now, I think just having the one copy, I don't think it's going to be something that you throw on him right away if you have a maxed out Tear of Twilight. Let's talk about the other units real quick. The other unit that is worth mentioning here, well, Oleg is great as a tank. He's one of the top tanks in the game. You do get him for free though, so I wouldn't summon for him. His awakenings are good, but not game breaking. Nazim, he is a great answer if you need a stunner in Guild Boss 2. He does a lot of stuns with his ultimate. So if you need a stunner in Gear Dungeon 2, or not Gear Dungeon, Guild Boss 2, sorry, Semra, he's the answer. Just keep him alive, make sure he ults during the saw phase, and you're golden. Varoth, he's a solid damage dealer for an epic. He's not top of the line, he's not bottom of the line. I wouldn't pull for him either. If you're pulling, it's for Zilla2 or Beelzebub. More than likely Beelzebub, because Zilla2's been in the game since the beginning of the game. Beelzebub is new. But Zilla2 is a top-end damage dealer. She has fallen out of the meta as of recent, but she still does a ton of damage. She is a guild boss specialist. And let's see, I'm sure we have somebody here. Yeah, see, Shock is using Zilla2, 132k. Do we have anybody else here? Yep, Cody. He's doing 74. If you're on your way to that 50k, she could very well be the answer if you have a Lord to go with her. And let's see. There should be at least somebody in the top, I don't know, 50 that use her. Here's one right here. See, I knew there'd be one up here. So, number 7. She is doing 101k. Definitely not his best unit on the team, but very solid. Let's see. Let's check another one. I'm sure I've probably missed one or two, but yeah, I'm not gonna search that in depth. As you can see, Dolores is on every single one of these teams. This is the competition that Beelzebub has. Come on, Zilla 2. I know you're good. You're better with a Lord, so it's definitely gonna have to be one with a Lord. And you're best with Twin Fiend and Pyros. Ah, here she is. 116k, and she's doing 162k. So, I mean, she is a top damage dealer in Guild Boss 1. She's not the top anymore. She used to be at one point in time, but she is very, very good. But like I said, are you pulling for her? Probably not. You're probably not looking to pull for her specifically. But if you get her as a consolation prize, that's what it is. It's at least a consolation prize. Should you pull for Beelzebub? It depends on your account. Are you in a situation where you can afford to go for him? That's a big thing. The other thing is, do you need him? If you don't need him and you want to save, you might as well, honestly. Because, end of the day, we know they're going to be doing something pretty crazy for Valentine's Day. It's when Lust came out last year, and it is one of their most popular times. They just had the whole US ban thing going on that affected a lot of players, myself included. So, with that all in mind, they're likely going to do a good bit extra. At least it'd be in their best interest to. So, do you want to take the chance now, pull for a unit that you may not use? Or do you want to save for what could be an amazing unit or amazing set of units that may come out during Valentine's Day? There has been rumors that it's going to be Lubu. And then his partner, I don't remember her name. That's going to be a fighter and a support, from what I have heard. But we don't know that for certain. All we can do is speculate on that. And, you know, that's where that goes. But they will likely be very, very strong. And one of them is likely going to be a limited time unit. It's just, that's how these games work. Limited time units are the ones that bring in money, and they're definitely going to need to bring in some money. So, should you pull this weekend? Like I said, it depends on your account. Do you need him? Do you want to save? Do you have the leisure to go for whoever you feel like? I personally, I'm going to pull one legendary. Maybe two if I get a legendary before I finish off these diamonds or these crystals. That's unlikely, as my last legendary was 5 days ago when I pulled Yuri. If you didn't see that video, I have that up on the channel. I have used Yuri in, let's see, I'm pretty sure I used her. Oh, can I not show it? I know where I can. Conqueror. Didn't use her in Conqueror. That's obvious. You can't use her in Conqueror. But I did use her here, I'm pretty sure. I guess this was my top score. That makes sense. And then I do believe... Oh, this is out now. Interesting. She's definitely going to be useful in Furious Torrent. And I didn't use her in Arbiter of Frost. However, I did achieve a triple S in Arbiter of Frost with this team. But yeah, Beelzebub, great unit. He's not necessary though. He's one of those units that tries to fit into a couple different niches, but doesn't do the job of any of them at the top of the line. He's a jack of all trades, master of none. Sorry about that. So, that's really a question you have to answer for yourself on your account. Dolores does his job with inspiration better. Mari does the control just as well. I believe Mari actually has a better... let's see. Let's see what her stuff is. Is she cultist? She's not a cultist, is she? She must be north. Yeah, she's north. I always feel like she should be a cultist because of the control. So, she inflicts slow. The enemies inflicted with slow have a magic vulnerability and a physical vulnerability of 20%. So, I mean, there's that. And she attacks up to 3 enemies in range. And that's at random. And yeah, so ultimately she does a better slow for almost as long. She does a better vulnerability, and she does physical vulnerability as well as magic, not just physical or not just magical. And she's an epic. So Beelzebub doesn't fill Mari's role, except for his range is quite a bit bigger. And he doesn't excel in Dolores' role. But he could take both of their spots, do both of their jobs slightly less effective, and leave you a slot for a whole nother unit. And is that other unit going to provide you more bonus than the little bit extra Dolores would do or the little bit extra Mari would do? Potentially. That depends on your account. That depends on the units you have available. If you don't have a wide variety of units available to you, he's probably not going to be the answer for you. But if you're endgame looking to speed farm, min-max, stuff like that, he very well may be the answer there. I've also heard that he builds BP very, very well. So, that in mind, he's likely going to get an exclusive item, an exclusive piece of gear, if he hasn't already. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But he could very well get an exclusive gear that boosts his attack even farther. And in that case, who knows? Maybe he may overtake Dolores. But that's all future potential, and all we could do is speculate on that. So, like I said, I will be pulling one copy. This video went much longer than, or not one copy, one legendary. This video went much longer than I intended it to. As you could tell, I'm sure, I am still sick, and talking for a long period of time is obviously not going well. But yeah, I mean, I will be pulling this weekend. I will put a video up of how my summons went. I probably won't live stream this weekend if I am still feeling this way. Hopefully I'm not, and I might be able to kick a live stream up, but time will tell with that. But that'll do it for this video. If you are pulling for him, let me know why, or if you're just a collector, let me know in the comments below. If you're not pulling for him, let me know why. And I will see you guys in the next one. If you liked it, like it. If you want, subscribe. It does help me out quite a bit. We are just pushed over 300 subscribers. I'm at 301 now, I think, which is awesome. I really appreciate it. I never thought I'd get as far as I have so far. And I am hoping to continue it as long as the game stays in the US. But that'll do it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and bye.